One of the most intriguing issues of Jose Rizal was his alleged retraction, which was all about his reversion to the Catholic faith and all other issues linked to it, such as his marriage to Josephine Bracken. That issue was claimed to be true by the Roman Catholic defenders but asserted to be deceptive by anti-retractionists. They claim that the retraction document is a forgery, but handwriting experts concluded a long time ago that it is genuine.
The question of whether Dr. Jose Rizal, our national hero, truly retracted his beliefs remains a topic of enduring debate and intrigue. This controversy has cast a long shadow over Rizal's legacy, primarily known for his courageous literary works during the Spanish colonial period. His writings, which openly challenged the colonizers, earned him the status of a national hero. However, the discovery of a letter in 1935 in which Rizal reportedly retracted his anti-Catholic sentiments has ignited a contentious discussion. For our motion, this House believes that the acts of Dr. Jose Rizal before the said execution have caused renouncement in Masonry and retraction against the Catholic Church. It is my firm belief that Dr. Jose Rizal abjured Masonry and retracted his statements against the Catholic Church. The documents presented to the public is a strong evidence that Rizal had truly withdrawn in Masonry and retracted. Let us first address the documents. First, the letter of Rizal to his mother received on the 5th of January, 1893. The letter says that Rizal had been going to the church every Sunday in Dapitan. Doesn't this show that Rizal had truly returned to the church? Second, the testimony of the eyewitness. Father Vicente Balaguer, who was with Rizal and presented the retraction format prepared by Father Pio Pai y Vidal, the superior of the Jesuits Society in the Philippines. Before the execution, he stated that on December 29, 1896, the day before the execution, Rizal have accepted and signed the document. Third, on May 13, 1935, Father Manuel A. Garcia found a document of Rizal's retraction. Isn't the account of the eyewitness not enough proof of the retraction?
Objection!
But some historians and anti-retractionists believe that the said documents were fake and forged. According to an online source, joserizal.ph, which is owned and maintained by the Jose Rizal University, the fact of the document forgery was revealed by Father Balaguer himself. Father Balaguer said that he couldn't remember whose exact copy was the document, and even his superior, Father Pio Pai, couldn't verify it in his own statements. The copy of the retraction paper that was said to be signed by Rizal was even kept in secret and was only published in the newspapers who claimed to have seen and read it. Titled, Rizal Retraction Found. When Rizal's family requested for the original copy, it was said that it was lost. 39 years later, the original copy was found in the Archdiocesan archives. But instead of ending doubts, as a resolution came to light, it only caused more arguments and questions in many people's minds because of its significant differences in the text of the retraction documents. According to Ricardo Pascual, PhD, who was given the permission by Archbishop Mazaleta to examine the document, later concluded in his book, Rizal Beyond the Grave, that the documents presented was a forgery. Moreover, Rizal then expressly stated that he retracted the Masonry. He only said that he hated Masonry. So, how is this a strong evidence of withdrawal and retraction? And if Rizal really retracted, how come he was still executed? Wasn't the retraction enough for salvation of Rizal? In the argument of the forgery of documents, it is also reasoned out in that same site that what the Archbishop and Father Pio Pai saw was not the original document of the retraction. And the original document, which was almost eaten by termites, was kept by friars for preservation. Additionally, it seems that the source is biased as it came from a school in favor of Rizal. The retraction is a significant document because it established the act of marriage between Jose Rizal and Josephine Bryan. In the Pitan, the condition to them to be wedded was a retraction. Means no retraction, no marriage. In other words, Rizal could never marry Josephine unless he retracted first. And the sworn statement of the witnesses, like Father Balaguer, agreed that there was a retraction and marriage between the two. Moreover, after his marriage, Rizal dedicated a Catholic devotional book to his two sisters, Josefa and Trinidad, as well as his wife, Josephine, which in his dedication mentioned, "To my dear and unhappy wife, Josephine." December 30th, 1896, Jose Rizal. Aren't these books proof of Catholicism? In addition, he said in his letter, "I abominate Masonry as an enemy, the Church, and a society prohibited by the Church." He used the word abominate, which means to detest in the highest degree, abhor. In this case, he used a stronger language than "I retract Masonry." Likewise, Rizal was suspected of rebellion, sedition, and illegal association against the Spanish government. The retraction document isn't related to what he was accused of, and as a consequence, it does not save him from execution. Speaking of marriage, well, in fact, there was no existing document of marriage between Josephine and Rizal. Consequently, a number of Rizal's writings and letters does not mention Josephine as his wife. Correspondingly, Rizal did not even call Josephine his wife in his last letter on earth, Mi Ultimo Adios, the last written text of him before his execution. In that letter, he said his farewell to her as follows: "Adios, dulce extranjera, mi amiga, mi alegría." Instead of "Adios, dulce extranjera, mi esposa, mi alegría." More so, if Rizal died as a Roman Catholic, then he should be buried properly fitted to him. And as for us, his burial was still concealed with mystery, because it is said that he was buried in a lot out of the Roman Catholic cemetery in Paco, Manila, and his name didn't appear in the registry for Roman Catholics. In these circumstances, did Rizal really die as a Roman Catholic? With regards to no documents of the marriage and having been not mentioned of Josephine in Rizal's writings, it is explained in Garcia's account in his book titled The Great Debate, Rizal Retraction, that Father Manuel A. Garcia found or discovered the retraction letter including the marriage certificate of Josephine and Jose Rizal. It is also explained why Josephine wasn't mentioned in Rizal's writings as his wife. It is because they were married before the execution or earlier, their marriage. More so, Rizal's Mi Ultimo Adios, the last official writing of Rizal, was written a day or so before the execution. In other words, before the marriage. In addition, it is possible that Rizal was not buried in a Roman Catholic church because he was already accused as a traitor against the Spanish government, even though we Filipinos know that he is not. It is also logical to think that the Spaniards didn't want an enemy to be buried with decency, just like what happened to the three priests who were accused of the Cavite Mutiny of 1872. They were still a part of the Roman Catholic Church, but they are now seen as traitors and were not given a proper burial, and Rizal was no exception to that. In conclusion, Rizal truly abjured Masonry and retracted his affiliations against the Catholic Church, for the reason that Masonry is the enemy and prohibited by the Church, and Rizal was starting to return to his church. In this case, Rizal did not fight the Catholic religion. Rather, he fought those who abused the religion and the manner that the friars practiced during that time. All of these reasons are proved and evidenced by documents presented and found by people, as well as the statements testified by eyewitnesses. About the related Catholic books that Rizal gave to Josephine and to his sisters, this doesn't give much weight as an evidence. As Josephine was still in the Catholic faith, it was only fitting that Rizal gave her Catholic-related materials. But this doesn't mean that Rizal had finally retracted his words against the Church. Moreover, about the forgery of the documents, there are 3 copies of the documents about the retraction. The first one indicates a year of 1890, the second one changes it to 1890C, and the final one, the written year, is 1896. Isn't this enough proof that there was a forgery of the retraction? Even Father Balaguer, who was an eyewitness, has some inconsistencies in his statements. The absence of the marriage document of Rizal and Josephine and his burial outside the Catholic Church Cemetery of Paco shows that Rizal did not retract it back to the Church. The lack of sufficient evidence proved that Rizal's retraction was just a false accusation. Rizal's retraction letter is one of the most popular controversies about our national hero. 2 different groups, the pro and anti-retractionists, have expressed their opinions and views with regards to the issue, and many evidences were presented to support their claims. However, as we read several books and readings, we made our corrections that Rizal's retraction is a fact, based on the following reasons. Prominent Filipino historians like Nicolas Safra, Nick Joaquin, Leon Guerrero, Ambet Ocampo take the retraction letter as authentic since famous handwritings experts like Teodora Calao, Dr. Jose Del Rosario, and Prof. Bayer that recognize the letter as true.
Padre Villaclara.
Historians collected 14 eyewitnesses who could testify that Rizal wrote the retraction letter, and 7 qualified eyewitnesses, including his brothers, sisters, and wife's testimonies that could give indirect proofs that Rizal made the retraction letter. Rizal submitted himself in a confession, signed a Catholic prayer, recited Catholic prayers, and many witnesses saw him kiss the crucifix before his execution. All of this strengthened the fact that Rizal returned back to the arms of Catholic Church.
Senyor Rizal, may katotohanan ba ang kwento ng mga Hiswita?
Ginawa nila nararapat nilang gawin? Ginawa ko nararapat kong gawin.
Sawang-sawa na ako sa pasikot-sikot na pangangatuwiran.
Bakit ba napakahalaga ng retraktasyon sa iyo, senyor?
Ang katotohanan ay katotohanan at isa lamang ang anyo nito.
Ganun nga sana.
Hindi ka talaga nauubusan ng sagot, ano?
Mababago ba ang mga ginawa ko sa loob ng aking maikling buhay kung sinulat ko nga ang dokumentong yun?
He retracted and died as a Catholic
Padre,
and renounced from Freemasonry, but
sa
not
inyo
from
ba,
the nationalistic
ay
books.
maniniwalang akong sumulat niyan.
Evidence presented could affect and question the
Bakit
character
mo
of
naman
Rizal
sagutin
as a hero, but we could not
Alam mo
deny
ba,
the fact that because of Rizal's works and writings,
Nagkagalit na kami
we
dahil
Filipinos
retraction
awakened
niya.
our
Ginawa ko ba yun o
nationalism,
hindi?
and eventually we are enjoying the freedom he dreamed for his own country. In the end, whether Rizal retracted or not, it is our free will as a free human beings and free Filipino people who can actually conclude whether he retracted or not. It is our conscience that can dictate
Anong
which is
tinago
the
mo
truth
sa sapat?
or a fabrication.
Hindi na mababawi.
But one question sticks to the mind. Since he was warned that there is no redemption outside the Roman Catholic Church, we might be thinking that out of his
Hindi
respect
kaya true account
to the
ng mga
Catholic
episode.
Church, he did retract true documents,
Segurista.
witnesses, and testimonies.
O ngayon,
But his heart is not a piece of paper.
Hindi kaya isa.
Only Rizal knows the real truth.
Hindi
Indeed,
kaya,
the
hindi
dead
kaya.
cannot tell tales anymore.
Hindi kaya Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year lang. Puro speculation.
Bilib ka pa rin ba kay Rizal? Ikaw, bilib ka pa? Siguro naman, hindi ka bilib sa Rizal ni Balaguer. Kanya-kanyang Rizal. Mahirap pasagin yan. National hero. Mahirap pasagin yan.